Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how I got rid of cyanobacteria in my 20-gallon Nano Reef tank in just 6 days. So here's what my tank looked like on day one. As you can see, there's a lot of cyano there, covering most of my substrate, and it's looking really ugly. It's starting to move on to my rocks, and it's already starting to affect some of my corals, which is not a good thing. So we're going to have to do something about this pretty quick here. Now, how did it get this bad? Well, this specific outbreak is a result of a couple things. First of all, part of it is that I've been super busy recently, and I've been slacking a bit on doing my regular water changes, and more importantly, tracking my nutrient levels, especially my phosphates. So my tank kind of got into a pretty nice rhythm for a while there, where everything was just running smoothly, and I haven't really had to do a lot of maintenance outside of my water changes or whatever. So I kind of stopped measuring some things, or this time between measuring different nutrients levels started going up and up and up. So I've been slacking a bit. So that's pretty much one of the main reasons. The second one is that, and I think more specifically, is my phosphate levels, which I've been struggling with. Now, I actually dealt with cyano about a year ago. It was about maybe 3 or 4 months after I started, I set up this tank originally. And when I got it the first time, I tried dealing with it using more natural methods. So I did some research, and I found out that one of the first things that people recommend you try is to increase the flow. So that was the first thing I tried. I bumped up my flow on my flow pumps here, and I tried to use that. Didn't really make too much of a difference, so I increased flow again, and then I increased it again. And then I was like, okay, well, this isn't really doing much, wasn't really working. So the next thing I tried that some people recommended was to use some beneficial bacteria, like Microbacter 7 or Microbacter Clean. There's a few other products out there, which I guess they try to outcompete the the cyano for nutrients and things like that. So I tried using those, and it didn't really help either. And then the next thing was to measure the levels of nitrates and phosphates and the ratio between those two. And that was definitely my problem back then. My phosphates were kind of through the roof. So I knew that was going to be something that I had to deal with more longer term. And my plan for that was to see if I could find a little GFO reactor that I could install to the back of my nano tank. But while I was waiting for that to come in, I wanted to at least get that under control because it was pretty bad last time. And so I tried using this product called Chemi-Clean, which is kind of a more nuclear option, but it did actually produce a good result. It worked really well. So I used it last time, and it worked pretty good. So I'm going to do the same thing again this time. One thing that I learned about this stuff is that if you're going to use it, make sure you read the instructions really carefully, because you have to, there's a few things that you have to do. Otherwise, you might lose some fish, or you might lose some corals possibly. So be really careful. This stuff is really potent, guys. Make sure you read the instructions really carefully. One of the first things they say is you have to find a way to increase oxygen levels in your tank while using the product. So one thing you can do is you can use an air stone, but last time what I ended up doing is I just moved my flow up higher, up close to the top of the tank. So it basically starts to pull a little bit of air in from the agitation on the water, and I can see the air bubbles kind of floating around in the tank. So I kind of figured that would be enough, and last time it was. So I'm just going to do the same thing again this time. I'm just going to change the flow of my water, and same thing with my return pump. I just kind of point it up higher a bit, and then it skims the surface more, and you get a bit more oxygen bubbles kind of floating through the water. So yeah, read the instructions carefully if you guys are going to use this. Now, as far as using the product, it's pretty simple. You just measure out the appropriate amount of powder, put it into, you get a little cup of water from the aquarium, mix it in, dissolve it, make sure all the powder is dissolved thoroughly before you put it in. And then I just poured it in. As you can see here, I'm just pouring it into the top. making sure I get all of it in there. And then you kind of just leave it. There's a few other things in the instructions, like it tells you to make sure to remove your carbon. So I did that on mine. And then your protein skimmer, you can leave it on, but it might start to bubble on you a bit more. So you might have to make some adjustments, which I had to do as well. But that's pretty much it. So I just put it in there and I'll let it do its thing. Now here's a tank about 48 hours later. Now I filmed this without doing any kind of water change at all. So like I just wanted to film it exactly as it was 48 hours later. So I didn't touch anything here. You can see that there's already much less now. You can see it's still there, but I would say maybe like 30, 40% less than what we saw before. It's kind of hard to tell if you just look at it, but if you look at the beginning of the video, it's easier to see the difference between the 2 points. So there's definitely a lot less. Now this is only 48 hours. And here we have the same thing about 6 days later. So the only thing I did here besides using the Chemi-Clean is I did that one water change after 48 hours. That's it. The rest of it was done by Chemi-Clean. So you can see that most of it is gone now. The sand definitely looks cleaner. It's mostly gone on the rocks. There's a little bit left on the sand in this one spot here, but it's very minimal compared to where we started. Like maybe 5% left, which kind of disappeared a few days later. So most of it, I would say 95% of it was gone within less than a week. Now, as I said, guys, the root cause of this for me, for my tank specifically, is that my phosphate levels are too high. The ratio between phosphates and nitrates. So make sure you measure yours if you're struggling with cyano, because that could be the root of your problem as well. So you can use Chemi-Clean to get rid of it, but you have to figure out some sort of solution for the phosphate thing. Now for me, ideally what I'd like to be able to do is run a refugium on this tank, but the size of it and the amount of space I have in the back, that's kind of hard to do. So I'm actually planning a much bigger upgrade soon that will probably and hopefully solve that problem for me. But in the meantime, I just wanted to get something in there, deal with this before it starts affecting my corals. So yeah, I just ended up using Chemi-Clean. Now, if you guys have used Chemi-Clean to get rid of cyano or some other methods, drop a comment below and let me know how it worked for you. I'm curious to see what other people are doing. Yeah, and then once I do, like I said, I am planning a bit of a bigger upgrade, so I'll talk about that in a future video. But hopefully I can get these phosphates under control and not have to deal with this, so I don't have to keep using this Chemi-Clean stuff. Because it is, I believe it's like an antibiotic type treatment of some sort. So yeah, hopefully this helps you guys out. If you're struggling with it, try this product out. If you tried other methods and they didn't work, try it out. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.